How are you doing? Glad to know you are logged on and listening. It is the Morning Galaxy, your mid-morning cruise into the stars. I am V Candy, and there has been something that has been very topical about the marriage law, the new marriage law, which was passed into law, right? And a lot of questions were just loosely thrown into the air, and sometimes you can actually really go on with your life. So helping us with that conversation today is Advocate Nyari Maphosa. She is an advocate, a senior legal counsel and member of the Law Society of Zimbabwe for 23 years, public speaker and blogger on family, relationships, gender and abuse issues, and she is also an executive director of Breeze Music Trust, a singer, songwriter and rapper. Advocate. That's a lot on your plate, eh?
Oh yeah.
Multitasking, we love that.
That's how you live life.
So let's get into it. We're talking about the Zimbabwe new marriage law, and there have been different headlines, to this law saying girlfriends now get an inheritance, and small houses have been given room and have also their rights. But then to start with, now futhi lobola ikataurika. Advocate Nyari, was lobola abolished?
Hey Vikendi, hello Zimbabwe. No, lobola was not abolished. There is nothing in the law that abolished lobola. I think the confusion came in when people started to think that small houses, whatever they call small houses, or civil partners, were now a recognized entity in society or at law. And so if you say two people who are just living together and they maybe one of them is married and they attain the status of a marriage, automatically it means it doesn't matter whether you paid lobola or you didn't pay lobola.
By virtue of them staying together under one roof.
Which is actually not true. That is actually not true. The maybe debunking, what has been said before, is the fact is the law says we only come in, the courts only come in when two people were staying together, break up, or one of them dies, and then the other person is claiming property or claiming assets. That's when the court will look at it and say, was your arrangement a civil partnership or not? So a person can't go around saying, in a civil partner wangu, there's no recognizable legal entity called civil partnership. Hakuna shinjakadaro. It's just when people are now arguing, pakurambana paipa uti nini masofa ndakawaya now kana kutistendi ndaka contribute.
So still the law caters for those cases if there is legal ground for someone to claim by virtue of them having stayed with someone.
Okay, so maybe I just need to go back a bit. Before this law came in, this law is just a codification of what we call codification. It's now something you can read on paper, but it was there as a common law principle. So when two people stayed together and they were not married, but they put in an effort, they put in money, the law recognized their claim. It's a universal partnership. But now we call it a civil partnership, yes, in terms of what the act has said. Before, it's not a new thing that is there. Because essentially, how the law works, no one must be enriched unjustly at the expense of another person. Saka, $1,000 and I put in $1,000 and we bought a stand or something. You can't just walk away with nothing. The law says if you put in something, then you must not be prejudiced. So that's where it comes from, and this is exactly where this section is. Section 41 actually in the Marriages Act.
Okay, section 41 in the Marriage Act. Okay. You can also come on our WhatsApp platform. We're talking about the marriage law, and you can also come on our WhatsApp platform if you have any questions. We are also live on Facebook with Advocate Nyari Maphosa. And the other question, Nyari, that has also been very topical. Kuti, are small houses now legal? And can one still sue for adultery charges? Or that has been abolished? It's not holding water and you can't sue anyone for adultery charges.
Okay. Vikendi, no. Small houses were not at all ever legalized. Avana diri vachingori kusango kwavari ikoko. They have not been brought into the light, you know. If you read section 41, which essentially says what is a civil partnership, what they're talking about, vanhu vaitogara vese. You get what I mean? Vanhu vaitogara vese, and there's this statement inotaura that's so important, inoti on a genuine domestic basis. Kwete kuti iwo nekumsha unomba kwako kwanomukadzi wako nemhuri yako unombopota uchipfuura uchindoona marway kana ndona girlfriend kana kwaunomurendera flat chiro mukaita vana. Small houses are not civil partnerships at all. It's actually hard for them to qualify as civil partnerships.
But then, Auntie, a civil partnership is a relationship between a man and a woman, who live together on a genuine domestic basis.
Yes.
And also, the union can coexist with any other marriage, including a civil union. Is that not what's happening, that it can coexist?
It can coexist, but like I'm saying, one thing we need to know is it's not an entity inonzi mchato kana chinchakato mira chega, okay? So normally, okay, you will understand, sometimes for you to understand the laws and why they come into being, you have to understand the mischief behind it. You know, a lot of people who left the country and vakaenda ku UK umwe ari kundoshanda ari ikoko handiti achitumira mari vachivaka dzimba dzavo, that kind of thing. So there's that separation that happens between, say, spouses. Iye akagara na someone ku UK, that can be considered a civil partnership. Uyo asara kunoko akagara na someone, that can be considered a civil partnership. And people now start supporting each other, being financially dependent on each other, but the marriage still exists.
But then it can coexist, and uyu anokwanisa kuonekwa semunu arimu.
No.
Yeah.
As long as, okay, so as long as somebody's married and they're married under the Civil Act, which is the monogamous marriage, one wife, one husband, and it. So long vakarora nakudaro, it is adultery, okay? Azvina kunzi noti tiri kugara tese tiri mucivil partnership saka undisui. It's adultery and you will be sued.
So inini tomboti ndemurume wangu anewo waanayo ndokwanisa kumusungisa still?
Unotomusungisa definitely, because you have to be serious about the vows that you're making, and nothing took away from the sanctity or sacredness of that monogamous marriage. So pakatika girlfriend, pakatika boyfriend, you can totally sue them. It's just at dissolution. The courts come in panoramba navan. Let me put it this way. Murume nemukadzi, when they are married, anditika vanogona kutenga stand votengesa stand, vanogona kutenga masofa vopa masofa kuna nasekuru, and the court never looks at it kuti izvi mazotengeserei ko muri kufambisa sezvinhu zvenyumba menyu, but padivorce paipai ndopanenge pakunzi aiwa inini katsi ndeyangu kana kuti honda ndeyangu. You understand what it's only a divorce that the courts then come in to make sure kuti everything shiri kushewa zviri correct. So in the same way, the law does not moralize kuti mimi murugara mese iwa una mukadzi here kana kuti murugara mese amusi kuchaya mapoto here. The court doesn't care about that. But panoramba navanhu paipai vanhu vaakurwirana chinyi property, ndo panozopinda mutemo wanje wakuti okay, we are going to look at your circumstances. Makagara mese for how long? And was maitogara mese here pamba for sure. Uyu pairwara ndiwe waitomuchengeta here. You understand? And that's when the court will say no. In that case munhuwo akaisawo simba rake kana kuti akaisawo mari yake, haafaniri kufamba asina anything.
Advocate Nyari, vanhu vakaipotsera papi nyaya iyi wetakuona maheadline akasiyana ekuti ma-small house ane simba and people cannot sue for adultery. Like, would you want to debunk and open our eyes kuti ndepapi pakatadza kuti tinyatsowisisa and it was interpreted in a wrong way?
Inini ndingangoti number one, it was overzealousness yamagweta. And then number two, nekusanzwisisa. You know what I mean? I think I actually put on my Facebook page, I'm like, ndokumbira kuti kana usati wakunzwisisa nyaya iyi kachimbomira kuita my workshop. You know what I mean? Because everybody seems to believe what is wrong. Then the other group of people, married women, vakangonzwa nyaya kuti ma-small house atopiwa mukana, ma-small house vachibva vai-sensationaliza and ichibva yatoita moto wakaenda nyika yese. Now that's what everyone believes, but that is actually not true. Maybe I can also try to sort of explain kuti pane marriages ayaya, okay, maybe two situations. You'll have someone akabvisirwa pfuma handiti kapati vasina kuzoregister muchato wavo. That person can be considered a civil partnership, and or their relationship can be a civil partnership for the simple reason it's not recognized as a marriage at law. And that person aipiwa gupuro vikendi on the $20 and whatever bond yaunenge wapiwa zvonzi chienda, because that's how it was. It's an unregistered customary law union, and but imagine munhu onzi chifamba dzokera kumusha kwako, and customarily it was okay, but in terms of like legally right now it was not proper. And so parliament had to look at it and say saka munhu arongofamba asina anything here tozviziva kuti akatsvesa effort yake vakatogara vese 15 years. Even if she didn't contribute financially, she was contributing indirectly, and even though it's not a marriage, we will call it a civil partnership for the purposes yokuti apiwe or something, even asina kisa mari chai. Then you have the second scenario where a lot of people in Zimbabwe are separated, but not divorced, right? Saka uyo yanga ne marriage certificate yakakaenda nayo ogara 15 years ariko uyo sara aku maybe anorora somebody else kana someone else, the
marriage has not been dissolved.
The actual marriage is not being dissolved. Over former maybe an empire of a business, on magonyet on mabaz and the uyo afa this guy. Then that woman always came up and waived her marriage certificate. Kutinini, I'm the surviving spouse. So the law had to say, no, we have to look at this other person so that they are not prejudiced.
Okay. All right. So you have mentioned the civil partnership, and it makes a lot of sense. How is it then different from having a small house? What are in a case on separation? What if they're not on separation and empire yake near small house side and they're coexisting? Marriage yake iri ukuku, a civil union, and then the partnership iri ukuku. What then happens in that case?
What happens is that small house is not a civil partnership, and the court will not recognize it. Shirova build an empire, they can sue on other bases, not basis a civil partnership. Because civil partnership, if you check section 41, as to test that the duration of the relationship, the nature and extent of common residence. And the common residence, kuti maitogara mese pamba imwe chete. Saka kana George ana
achienda kumamaniro. Vamwe asi vanotogara.
But if you see, that's why the law will say to the genuineness of the domestic residence. Because my girlfriends for 15 years weekend and achipfura nakone kubasa ngomboana visa kumba so the court will then say no, they were not living together. Girlfriend, and this person is not a civil partner. Saka civil partner which is why it's actually almost impossible to create a civil partnership uri married musiri separate nemukadzi wako, because so long uchigara nemukadzi wako iwewe uchipfuura nekwamarwe yuko chero chipfuura every day
usingarariko,
that's not chero chirarako once or twice, that's not a civil partnership.
Thank you so much, Advocate Nyari. I hope the air has been cleared. What would you want to say, the takeaway message for those who are listening concerning this law here?
Okay, what I would like to say, which is important, is people think kuti the law vanangashti protect that's actually not true. Fact, the law itself is actually protecting the main house, because if you read kuti while we are considering sharing a trikuita ish kuna civil partner, we are going to be concentrating on the fact that no prejudice should be suffered by the actual wife. Saka while they are looking at your rights or kuti civil partner sure ndaka contribute ndakadai anditi vari kuti whatever
saka vari kutarisawo
kuti while we are sharing while we are sharing this side, we are going to make sure that the wife is not prejudiced, because kana murume angashitora zvinhu kumba achiuya achizovaka kuno, it means the wife was being prejudiced. It means that we'll consider that in sharing. So that law is actually, to me, it's a very, 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 very good law when I look at it holistically, and it's actually protecting the main house. It's not moralizing, but it's also,
and it's moralizing Chipambi.
No, definitely not, because they must small houses then manje small houses, most small houses are not civil partnerships.
No, thank you so much, Advocate Nyari Maphosa.
I'm saying Tash.
How can people reach you?
Okay, you can get me on 0772 235 130, 0772 235 130, or come to my Facebook blog, Advocate Nyari Maphosa. Advocate Nyari Maphosa. Come, let's talk.
We appreciate you for your time, Advocate Nyari. We invite you again when there is something topical to discuss right here. Advocate Nyari Maphosa, Advocate, Senior Legal Counsel, and member of the Law Society of Zimbabwe.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Confidence. Shame. Restless.